Hi there. There can be a fine line between being a person who has great empathy and a person who enables abuse. So today I want to give you 4 red flags that are good signs that you've crossed the line from compassion to being an enabler. First, do you ever lie and cover up or make excuses for someone else's abusive behaviors? There can be seemingly good reasons for lying, like maybe you don't want to embarrass that person or disrespect him. Maybe it's easier than dealing with the fallout that confrontation brings. Or maybe you've been taught it's your duty to be submissive or a godly wife. But does that mean covering up for someone else's sin? I don't think that's what the Bible teaches us. In fact, Proverbs 27:6 says, "Wounds from a sincere friend are better than kisses from an enemy." You aren't doing your husband any favors by colluding with his sin. Bringing his abuse to light offers him the opportunity to repent. Whether he does or not is up to him. But please don't pretend his sin doesn't exist and everything's fine. That approach doesn't benefit you or your husband, and certainly not your children. Second, do you regularly change your behaviors, stuff your feelings, or guard what you say just to keep the peace, prevent an argument, or make him happy? Now, obviously, there's a lot of give and take in any healthy marriage, but if you're the one who's giving and accommodating all the time, if you have to stuff your own feelings to appease him, then your relationship itself is unhealthy. For example, maybe you have a very insecure husband who's jealous, so he doesn't want you to go to work, or he doesn't want you to be with your friends. Maybe you can't even go to the mall without him. Are you to be a submissive, empathetic wife and just submit to this? To accommodate such controlling demands is actually enabling his insecurity and his jealousy to flourish, and not to change or heal. It may be easier not to rock the boat, to ignore your own needs and just stay home, but easier isn't better or healthier, not only for you, but not for him or for your marriage. To challenge those expectations and bring his issues into the open so he has the opportunity to deal with them. A third red flag is, are you doing things for your husband that he should be doing for himself? Now, obviously, in any healthy marriage, you do extra favors for one another sometimes. But if you're the one who's doing most of the work in your relationship and your husband doesn't share in the responsibilities of maintaining and repairing your marriage, you're enabling him to be selfish, lazy, and indifferent. Now, it's true, you can't force your husband to acknowledge his part or his sin, and you certainly can't force him to take responsibility or change, but you can control whether or not you choose to keep your mouth shut and enable his sin to continue unchallenged. And the fourth red flag is, do you take the blame for things that you didn't do? For example, your husband loses his temper and says, well, if you just wouldn't be so messy, or you just wouldn't be late, or you'd be a better cook, it's all your fault that I acted that way. Do you enable him to blame shift so that somehow you're responsible for his bad behavior? Now, you're not perfect. No one is. You can never be perfect enough if you're married to an abusive person. But your mistakes or imperfections do not give him the right to verbally or emotionally or physically batter you. His choices about how he behaves are 100% of his responsibility 100% of the time. Now, when you speak the truth, be sure you do it with a gentle spirit and in love. Proverbs 31:12 says, "She will bring him good, not harm, all the days of her life." You can't control whether he repents, but remember, speaking the truth in love is for his good. Until next time, God bless.